All right, so we're back at it here, looking to do a little bit of a swap here from Ethereum to Sand. So what are we doing? We are over here on the Sandbox, which is our digital metaverse, which is crazy to think that there is this Minecraft world out there where people are creating assets, games, NFTs on a platform that's this huge open world, and that it's going crazy. And if we come over here to this map, you can see that there's this map here, and if I go to return to full map, we're going to load up everything that's on here. This is all, most of what you're seeing is sold land. So I'm talking land that has been purchased by individuals, by companies, and that can be anything from one of these small little individual squares you're looking at on the screen, or that could be something as large as one of these large estates or blocks that you're looking at. And when you click on one, over here on the right hand side, you'll get some information. The 24 by 24 is the parcel size. You got a location, so every time you're clicking on one, that little location's updating. And then on this Zepeto, for instance, it's got their contact information, their visit site, so you can go see what they're all about. But this is an ever-changing, ever-developing virtual piece of land and real estate. And it's crazy. I don't even know that much about it. I know that it's a hot item right now. It's grown and grown in popularity. Obviously, the price of these parcels will fluctuate depending on what, the current value of Ethereum and Sand are. So if we go to, let's do coin market cap. And if we go, let's type in Sand. And the value of Sand right now is about 62 cents. For a single coin. So the conversion there comes out to a little under $650 right now to acquire a single block of regular land here. So this area right here is about to go on sale here in 6 minutes, and I have a feeling it's going to sell out rather quickly. What we're doing is we're converting some of our Ethereum right now into Sand so that we can try and purchase one of these pieces of regular land that's going to go on sale. And we need 1,011 Sand to be able to buy some land. So let's update this. $19, confirm. Make sure we've got MetaMask. Let's see, make sure we got Sand showing. Wait for this transaction to go through. If I want to pull up, there is a Medium article that was coming out talking about this Wave 4 for the summer jam land sale that's been going on. And you can buy anything from one of these little regular pieces of land to one of these yellow ones, which are premium. And the premium run close to $3,000 right now for a piece of premium land. Well, depending on the area you're looking to buy, and what's going to be for sale right now is pretty much this whole section here, this box here, and this box here. And I'm trying to remember, yes, and I think this box as well. So these 4 little areas, and hopefully my transaction comes through here and I'm able to actually have some Sand showing up. But the idea is going to be to pick one of these pieces, one of these regular pieces here that say not available right now, but in 4 minutes they will be available, and see if I can't get a purchase to go through. As you guys saw yesterday, depending on gas and what you're willing to spend on that, some of these transactions just don't go through. All right, we're playing it close, that's for sure. And this is just why you should probably be somewhat prepared for these things to happen. Like, you shouldn't be doing conversions like this at the last second where I've got 3 minutes here before the sale starts. So let's see, July 8th was the last wave. So if we want to go look at July 8th on this map, right around here, should see a little bit of a spike. But you can just see the price difference over 1 week of what it's costing. It's actually costing about 20% more to acquire one of these. Not looking good. All right, we're doing a quick little follow-up here to what you guys just witnessed on July 15th for the Sandbox Summer Jam land sale. This was wave 4 that went on sale July 15th. I went and I got on the Sandbox to do my first attempt at buying some virtual real estate, and it was a complete fail. And by fail, I did not prepare ahead of time in terms of doing my swap to get my sand in time. The transaction ended up taking roughly about 10 to 15 minutes for it to go through, and I started that transaction about 10 minutes before the sale, just underestimating how quickly it was going to go through. So that was the first mistake I made. The second mistake I made that I hope people will learn from is when you're going to acquire your sand. So when you're going to either do the swap or when you're going to go buy that sand directly from an exchange, I recommend doing that ahead of time, whether that's before they even announce one of these sales or at least a couple days ahead of time, or at least start monitoring the price so that you can figure out when a good time to buy it for yourself is. If you look at the video, you'll see when I started looking at sand to purchase, it was hovering around that 60 cents to 62 cents. And when we looked at that price, what I'm going to show you right now is this is the price of sand a couple days after July 15th. We're sitting here, it is July 17th, so 2 days after the sale, and the price is down. Mind you, the entire market is down right now across the board. There's a couple coins that are actually going up, but right now you'll see this coin actually went as low as 44 cents, I believe, today. So that was quite a big difference in the 60 to 64 cents I was seeing this coin at leading up to the sale of wave 4 of this sale. So that was my number 2 mistake. And then my number 3 mistake was just being brand new to the platform, not really being familiar with how to actually do the purchase. I actually had my portrait here over in the bottom right of the screen where it would pop up and show you if you could actually make the purchase or not. So I should have refreshed my computer, like meaning I should have just done a fresh reboot. I should have cleared the cache and the cookies on my browser to make sure everything was fresh and clean. Already been ready to had my logins for my MetaMask, Sandbox, everything just already connected, ready to go. So those are just some of the first tips I would say. Also, one other thing I would suggest that you do is go over to OpenSea.io, which is an NFT platform where you can buy, sell, and trade. And go to the Sandbox collection and just start clicking around and looking at items. You might actually go on there and see that there is maybe a piece of land or something that you actually want to buy direct on the secondary market or directly from Sandbox, as they do host sales and auctions on there as well. But something I was able to find out is you could actually find some decent deals on there, especially when you're paying that 60 cents per sand. So right now, seeing that these prices are down to about 50 cents, I mean, that's a decent savings. We're talking 15 to 20% off, actually 15 to 25% off the price that I would have been paying for a piece of land had I been able to acquire one. At the time, I was looking just to acquire one of their regular standard pieces of land, and there's still some premium pieces that are for sale, which is interesting. I've heard that normally this stuff sells very quick, but for these regular pieces, the pieces that cost about a third, about a fourth of what a premium site costs, they went fast. And I was able to watch this. Even though I wasn't able to buy because my sand hadn't fully swapped yet, I was still on the map just waiting for that second that I was able to. And I could not click fast enough. And part of that probably had to do with just not having everything fresh, like I said, clearing my cache. So let's go back a second. The reason I was going for one of these normal pieces of land, one of the ones that cost roughly 700 sand, was because the night before or the morning before, when I was figuring all this out, I actually ended up purchasing 2 premium pieces, and you can see it here on the map. If you're familiar with the Sandbox, that's what these 2 red blocks are, and you're aware of that. If you're not familiar, that's what these 2 indicate. It's that these are mine. And I ended up buying these through what I just told you guys, which is OpenSea.io. That's the main place where you can confidently go buy, and you can see that it's actually linked to the Sandbox, and that you know the Sandbox is going to recognize these sales. So when I click into one of these, you look for that blue check mark there. That's something you're going to want to look for on the Sandbox. Be very careful with that. Always just go check Etherscan. Just double check everything when you're buying this. You want to make sure you're actually buying a physical piece or a virtual physical piece of this Sandbox land. So what I did was, hours before this sale, I wanted to make sure, I wasn't just jumping the gun and overspending, doing something I shouldn't do, or a bad deal. I'm looking for a deal, and I did end up finding these 2 pieces together as a bundled deal for about, I want to say it was 1.35 Ethereum. So that roughly came out to, at the time, about $1,300 per parcel, where had I bought one of these premiums right now for this 4,600 sand at the price of that sand at the time that I would have been buying it at, this would have been closer to about $3,000. So to me, that was getting a deal. I ended up paying roughly about $2,800 for 2. So I was paying a little bit less than 1, and I was getting 2. And I love the gamble here. I love this gamble, which is what is going to go here. Who is going to buy this big box? As you can see, when you scroll out on these maps, what is a big part of what people want when they're looking at these properties is who they're going to be around. And a lot of these you can't get property around anymore unless you find someone selling it, or you're going to rent it. Like Atari, that's a huge one, for instance. And you can see all these plots of land are a little bit different. There's a lot more estates and larger plots. But you got Roller Coaster Tycoon, that's a big one. If you like Binance, I'm not a big fan of Binance. I don't think a lot of people are, but you can see Binance is over here. But it's some big companies shelling out some big dollars. And now the big one is, The Walking Dead has announced a partnership with the Sandbox. So that's huge. When you first go to the Sandbox.game right now, you're going to get a pop-up about getting a notification for their pre-registration. But these pieces of land, they're all going to be opening up around here. I think these will be some hot commodities just because they're between The Walking Dead and Atari. I think like these whole sections are going to be really popular. They're going to continue to go fast. But I liked this. What I noticed was a lot of what I've been looking at lately in the NFT space had been popping up around here. Like, for instance, the Zen Garden caught my eye. This one it's cool. They have like bonsai plant NFTs that are really neat, and they've already said as part of their roadmap that you would be getting exclusive access to their Sandbox space if you are the holder of one of those NFTs. And then you just got some other ones here like this Shrine of Kongs, which I believe they recently just changed the name. I don't think it was called Shrine of Kongs before. They've got some really neat looking sketches of the architecture of what's going to be going on there. So it'd be neat to own something around there where you could see these buildings from your own land. But the idea, and all of this is still foreign to a lot of people, what it's going to look like when the alpha comes out and when the public releases of this comes out, but what it looks like when you get a crowd of people that go to one of these. You know, the appeal to having these pieces of land that are around them is the fact that they might wander from this game or the experience on the platform here. So when they go to one of these zones, one of these estates, what's going to get them to possibly come to yours is that they're there and that you're close by. So that's why I liked that there was two here together. There's the chance that I could turn around, maybe just sell one of these and recoup my total cost by selling one of them, depending on what happens with this. Maybe I'll hold on to both of them for the long term and see what happens with this, because I'm only spending money in this space, in the crypto space that I don't mind losing. It's a roll of the dice, but I am a real estate investor in the real world here. So that's what the Sandbox appeals to me for. There's the chance that I'll be able to rent out one or both of these spaces. There is something that I do have in mind that I would like to do with at least one of these to start. So if I click on this here, you can see it says for sale, rent at Life is Dane, let's collaborate, blah, blah, blah. You can add some information and things like that on here, which is neat. And one other thing I'm going to mention, I just clicked on this premium piece of land. And one of those things that you get when you're buying something premium is you're going to get some unique NFTs that are specific to that sale of land. So for this entire summer jam land sale, all the premium pieces are coming with these 5 NFTs here. But the thing is I went and I saw that on the secondary market on OpenSea that each of these is going for like around $40. So there's not really a uniqueness or a rarity to these by turning around and selling them right away. But when I buy, and the reason I'm bringing this up is my 2 pieces did not come with that. So my bundle showed 2 items, but I wanted to give you guys a quick little rundown. This wasn't 100% of a walkthrough of how you get on to the Sandbox and buy land. It was some tips on how to avoid what happened to me, which is just showing up to the actual time and day unprepared by not having your sand in place. And to, again, remember, always be paying attention to the price of sand and make sure you buy it at a price that to you looks like it was a good time to buy. Stay alert, stay aware, start researching the Sandbox. I'm excited for what it's going to be. I was not a person that was into Minecraft, but I think that the potential and the experiences that you're going to be able to create on the Sandbox is going to be a game changer. You already have a company out there. You already have a Decentraland that's being pushed, but they're 2 different worlds. So go check both out. Go check out Decentraland. Go check out the Sandbox, which lands cheaper on the Sandbox right now, and see which one is more fit to you. I personally am going to probably be trying to acquire land on both because you don't know which ones are going to succeed, if it's both, if it's neither, if it's one or the other. So I would like to have a little bit of land on both that I could potentially rent out, because I love the idea of collecting some virtual rent that goes along with the real world rent that I'm collecting. Now that sounds game changing to me. So I hope you guys got something out of this video, and stay tuned, because following this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can do some staking of your sand so that you can be earning a little bit of a return and possibly some NFTs to go along with it. So if you like this video, hit subscribe, hit like, and thanks for watching. Till next time. Peace.